you in the inner city, if you heard of that, if you get to beat the other way. But no, it's not. It's different because it's different. It's totally different, but people don't know. So we beat them, and from the time I started at Maryland, there was tons of us because we wanted a better life. We wanted to get out of the hood. But at the same time, a lot of blacks looked at us as we were wrong to want to do that and have a better life. So me, I played basketball in San Diego. I got recruited from probably every high school in San Diego. The white, the black, the Madisons where you were at, Poway, all of them. But as a black, I'm like, Poway? I'm not going there. I love basketball, but I'm not going there. You know, I can't go there. But then on the other side of that, I got recruited at Lincoln to go to Lincoln by Earl. And I said, well, I'm not going to Lincoln either because I live in the Crip neighborhood. I didn't want to go to San Diego High because that's where all the Crips were. That was my friends, but I didn't want to be into that. I wanted a life to graduate, go to school, have a real life, have a good chance at being successful. So I was really in the middle. Can't go over here because the Bloods are over here. Don't want to be over here because the Crips are over here. So I go to La Jolla, and we wear red and black. I get off the bus. What you doing? You got on the wrong colors, homie. I mean, this is my school. I'm just going to school. I'm wearing red and black because I go to school. So, I mean, we got a pass, but we also got sweated every day about it. They're still going to let you know, like, hey, man, you out of pocket. You got your black shoes with your red in, your red laces because you just loving La Jolla. You La Jolla, La Jolla, La Jolla. And, you know, it was great. At the time, I got a great education. The education system is not the same. The books that we had at La Jolla, not the same as the books at Lincoln High School. My grandmother, Jackie Meshach, was an advocate and a civil rights fighter her whole life. And I would argue with her and tell her that. You can fight all you want, but the books we got are different. My education is different out here. It's not the same. You got the old books from 3 years ago. We got the new book that just came out. So I'm learning different. But at the same time, you're in a classroom where you got maybe 2 black guys in your class. You looked at differently. You know, a couple of my black friends, we're in our English class and we say present. You know, we doing it to kind of mess with them, but also let them know we know we're the only blacks here in the class and in the school. So we say present. Teacher got mad at us for saying present every day instead of just conforming and saying here like everybody else. Just because we were black. And I went through that as a student and came back and I coached at La Jolla as an adult. I did my student teaching. I coached basketball there. So I've seen both sides of it. And then on my way out, because I wanted black kids to come get the same thing that I got, it wasn't okay. I had parents writing letters. I got an anonymous letter that a parent went out and said, we want our kids here. Well, what do you mean? I had a kid named Porter Troop. Well, he lived on the hill on Mount Soledad. He's black. Parents are well off and great people, educators. But then there's another kid. I had 3 kids. They lived in La Jolla. They're black. But now we got a couple new kids. We want our kids here. Right. So I was going to have 5, 6 players instead of 1. The token, and when it was okay to have 1 or 2. And for me being black, I wanted to do the opposite because I want to give them the same opportunities that I had, so I'm trying to help them. At the same time, and also being hated on by some of the black community and the culture saying, well, why are you out there? Somewhere, it starts somewhere. I got to be over here. I can also educate the white kids that don't know that could be saying the N-word because they're not used to being around those black people like you're saying. Now you're playing with them. Are you really friends? Or you just say, that's my friend. He's my teammate. But are you really brothers? Right. You're not really brothers. So that's the part of basketball that brings that together. See, when I was at another school, I was at uni coaching junior JV. I had a white kid in the game call one of the black kids on the other team the N-word. And I didn't find going off for an hour to also educate him. But also at the same time, you calling him that, what you calling me?
Calling me that, all types of names.
So I know what you're calling me when you're mad at me.
Right.
But why are you saying that? Is it okay in your house? Where did you learn it somewhere? Did you pick it up just from your friends? So these are all the things that you have to deal with every day, and it goes on both sides. So when you're young, you learn lessons, but when you get older, can you teach those lessons that were good and also bad for you, so that people don't keep doing it? And that's my biggest thing. Is I always go back to say, it's like a lot of people. I went to La Jolla. A lot of you're my friend. Am I your friend, or am I somebody you just know you associate with?
Right.
Because I went to the school. Have you ever offered me to come over your house for dinner? Do you want me around in your element? It's a total difference from just hanging out. You know, you was at La Jolla. You know the difference. You was at La Jolla, and you could probably speak on some of the stuff of coaching football. So I was the first black head coach in basketball, and only, as I know, I don't think anybody's there. To see the basketball program now, it's maybe one black, and they might be mixed or something, and it's sad to see because
I think I had three black kids. I was a black kid football coach.
You had 3 out of 80 kids.
Yeah.
And it got to be that way. The sad part, it got to be that way, like I said, when I was forced out of La Jolla, they told me to resign. I said no. I said fire me, because I know everything I did for all these kids was on the up and up. And I told you about the black kids or whatever, so they blame me for kids who didn't live where they said they lived. Like I'm the person to go check housing. I'm supposed to do all this stuff because I'm the black coach. Well, the white coach doesn't do that stuff. And you've been having black kids that lived in so-called areas, and white kids as well, that don't live in the area that you always let in because you just wanted your team to be better. But now I'm doing it, it's wrong. Because you get 1 or 2 parents to go through and write this stuff and say these things about you. And so I told them, sometimes you got to stand for something. And I took that stand. And once I took that stand, I was blackballed in San Diego for coaching. I couldn't get a job. I probably still can't get a high school head coaching job. And I'm one of the best coaches in San Diego, and I can say that without any problem. And I couldn't get interviewing to just go through the interview. State championships at uni as assistant coach. I won CIF at San Diego High School, where we were removed as coaches in the middle of the season as black coaches just because of so-called recruiting violations that not only white people but black people also told on us because we were the best at the time. So you get both sides of it, and it's hurtful to you because all you're doing is trying to help kids and teach them the right way, but then everybody else is backstabbing and doing under the scene stuff to you and saying all these things. And so it's real sad that happened. But I never let it stop me from coaching. I've been coaching ever since, and I won't stop coaching and helping. I like helping kids. And what I do now at the prep school is kind of on when I did AAU. And a lot of kids don't have the knowledge. They don't have the information they need to go to college, that they don't get it from their high school coaches. All these coaches were just about the wins, they're worrying about the X and O's, but they're not worrying about they're not worrying about you. Like that is running on the football field. Do they have their clearinghouse paperwork done? Can they go to college? You can't go to college without that as an athlete. I've been doing this since 2004. I probably had 80% of my kids that come didn't even know about the clearinghouse. They don't even know about it.
But if you look at I think what we've done in the last 2.5, 3 years for our football team,